All right, guys, today we're putting my trading to the test, but with a little twist. We're going to be spinning a wheel to randomly pick a month from 2020 to 2023, and then we're going to backtest that in Tradezella to see how much we can make. This is all going to be done using one mini NQ contract. So let's see if our edge works or we just be getting lucky. Hey, and thank you guys so much for 10 subscribers. We're on the road to 50. I know it's a small milestone, but it means a lot to me that just 10 of you guys that actually like my content enough want to see more. We're not stopping anytime soon. Let's run it up. Let's get to 50. Thank you, and back into the video. All right, guys, let's see what we're going to get here. So I have every month on this spin wheel from January 2020 until December of 2023. And I have no idea what month is going to land here on the screen. So whatever month we get, we're going to load into Tradezella and we're going to trade a full month of price action. I'm going to walk through my trades, why I'm taking the trades, and hopefully we do all right. I don't know if we're going to land in a bull market, a bear market, or what. I kind of I feel like I do better to the short side, but let's see what we get here. Oh man, it's looking like September. No, oh my god, October of 2021. All right, bet. Let's load into Tradezella and see how we can do. All right, so we're in Tradezella here. So we're going to be trading October 2021. That is what landed on the spin wheel. So I'm just going to actually set up a backtesting session here. We're going to start with $50,000. Let's see how much money we can make with this, man. I don't know how this is going to go. Might embarrass myself here, but hey, who else is doing it like this, man? Who else is going through a month of price action randomly? Maybe not me. If I do bad, I might not be posting this. I'm just kidding. Listen, good or bad, we are going to put this out. I think this is good practice. All right, so we're loading in a Friday, which is not really ideal to start trading on. So strong possibility, unless there's a really nice setup here that we actually don't take anything. Listen, I'm taking these volume indicators off my mat, off my chart. I do not trade with indicators. I like trading on a naked chart, okay? That's going to be the first thing that you guys see. I do not trade with any sort of indicators. I like going just kind of clean. The weekly is typically going to create my bias going into a fresh week. This is a unique situation because this is actually more like the close. And just looking at this, it looks like we're moving into a close that could potentially give us a break of structure. Fridays for me typically are more like wait to expect like a relief rally. But as of right now, this does look fairly, at least it's pointing towards bearish. I still think we need additional price action, but obviously 3 of the last 4 weeks, we've been moving to the downside since it looks like hitting all-time highs. Now the daily is where I'm going to actually want to look for my drawn liquidity specifically. So I'm going to look for minor swing lows and swing highs, relative equal highs and equal lows. And I'm going to mark those out. We've been creating displacement to the downside. On the daily, we are creating this market structure break that I was kind of hinting to on the weekly. This is kind of starting to show on those smaller time frames, right? On the weekly in a huge macro time frame, we still have a lot to go before I call this a bear market, I guess, on these charts. But I am very interested in looking shorts, and I think that the market is kind of tipping its hat towards lower. So we kind of failed to take these highs here, but I do want to note, right, a couple things. Overnight lows and overnight highs are important to know because they can generate liquidity for continuation or reversal, I should say, for reversal. So typically, I'd like to see if the market will go and grab either overnight highs or overnight lows immediately, and how it does as far as, you know, looking for a reversal move. So for us, we're taking these overnight lows, which again is a generation of liquidity, and it is Friday, right? When I see this move straight down on a Friday and we're already starting to lean bearish, I think that we're trapping a lot of liquidity here to the downside. I do think there's clear draw here, but I think that we can probably look for a move higher here, potentially, right? So we get this 5-minute close to the upside. It kind of protects this overnight level. And I think this comes with a little bit higher risk, but I think just understanding the fact that we failed to meet Asia highs, you get this immediate displacement down, but first you sweep these lows. So this is a very aggressive entry, but this is something that I like to do, is take an order and form a buy stop. Again, we're at a very low point, and this would be a very discounted entry for a buy when I'm assuming we're going to come higher and even meet and pass today's high of day, right? So I can take a relatively low risk to reward entry here. I'll probably just give a few points of drawdown as far as that goes, and then I think that we come back up to the same liquidity level that we met. And I think that sweeping this on the 15 is going to be enough juice, I guess, to get us there.
We got a bad fill. Sometimes, I think that was my fault though. I don't think I moved the order. That's fine. We'll my mistake. We'll leave it here. I would have got in at the top of this fair value gap here, but since we got in here, it's okay. We'll place the same parameters for as far as risk goes. I think we were right around 33.
And just hurry this up. All right, so we do end up hitting TP on this, which apparently Tradezella hasn't registered. You want more? What is going on? We can close it. Okay. I don't know what's going on with the orders on Tradezella. All right, that was a banger. That was a little Friday banger there. Looking at day 2, so we're actually getting into a fresh week here. We're just looking for this break of structure on a bigger time frame, but we're starting to get that on the daily. What we're starting to get here is a little bit of coiling. So I'd like to see the daily trade into this daily imbalance that we've created, moving into the downside, right? So that's going to be kind of my main draw here, and I'm going to mark this out again. I do kind of remove my drawings and redo them just because, you know, when it's fresh in your mind, you're a little more mindful of kind of what you're looking for. And then drawing liquidity on the daily is going to be the swing low that started that big leg, and it's going to be the same as yesterday. So we're looking for something very similar here, and you get this mean break on the 5-minute. Okay, let's see what we get from here. Now, getting very clear displacement. This is where we need to be patient, right? Because when price is moving straight down, it's hard for me to find an entry because you're getting more displacement to the downside. Now a little bit of chop. So I'd like to see how this sets up on the 15-minute. So it looks like you're getting this move up. This is coming into power hour, so it's not ideal looking for a short when you're getting these rallies on the last hour. Could look at the same setup that we wanted. Yeah, I think we take the same sell limit here. We're gonna be a little bit limited on time. I don't know if this would make sense to kind of ride into the Asia session. I don't think it would, but we'll see kind of how this goes here. If it even trades up here. Nope. We got nothing. We got nothing. No trades. It's okay. Just a straight shot down. So on the week, you're starting to get price action lower, right? Even lower, which is what we want to see. And ideally, below this drawn liquidity that we had on the daily, you know, under this weekly low, right? Here of July of 2021. So all signs still point towards bearish. I'm still going to be looking for trades to the downside. This fair value gap held after sweeping this level. I think that price wants to create a leg higher to the upside we're looking at the daily, realistically probably a sweep and maybe even fill of this fair value gap before it goes lower. So this is where we kind of tread lightly, right? On the short term, we're looking like, okay, this can kind of be setting up for a pretty decent relief, but still looking for shorts. Yeah, you did get a small break of structure. So if we're looking at Friday and that uptrend that it created, this displacement was on the hourly, the first sort of displacement that we got that created a break in market structure. So on a higher time frame, I'm going to be interested in looking to take a short off of this, right? So we are trading into this imbalance that we were targeting. Now on a smaller time frame, we can look for a break of structure, but I want to be mindful of opportunities to enter otherwise, right? And I'm not going to get in unless I get a decent entry, right? So we want to be in discount, but we don't know how much into this we're going to trade or if this just gets invalidated, because that is entirely a possibility. We just invalidated that hourly fair value gap. Yeah, I just realized the time, so I'm not going to be taking, and this is going to be hard because we're doing this kind of like real time. I'm not going to be looking to take, very aggressive trades like that late in the session. It's not always going to be pretty. This is real trading. Hey, sometimes you get it set up within your model, sometimes you don't. You need to win more than you lose. Listen, I'm looking for entries. I'm walking you guys through it. I'm just not getting them. It's okay. So just trading off of here. See, this is where when you have this strong bias, we're pretty much banking on us continuing to the downside and using this imbalance as a trigger to now come lower. And I believe that that higher time frame gives us that opportunity to maybe look for an aggressive sell stop entry here, right off of the imbalance, right? And directly to low of day, we'd risk the fill or trading into the entirety of that price range there.
That would be invalidation for us. Otherwise, I'd look for lower. We get a close above here, then that'd be an invalidated trade. I'm using this imbalance as a trigger for us to continue moving down, having a little more conviction in that high time frame. Okay. I'm gonna go break even here. Understanding there's no reason to take additional risk, but we will hold the trade.
And boom. Let's go. Another banger. Listen, it took 2 days with no trades, but then, when you get one, there's got to be one that counts. I think I don't have any reason to be bullish yet. And so we're at the top of this range. Pre-market high. And then again, these blue horizontal lines are that daily imbalance. And immediately trading into it, we do get some, move to the downside. So I'm going to wait here because I do think we come higher before we go lower. We look for opportunity to go short. Where? In a discount. I'm going to short the top. I'm not always trying to find a top, but if you're going to provide me on a short time frame, a fair value gap, look for inverse off of tap. When I know that there's some bigger time frame moves at play, I'm going to be willing to take that risk because I know what comes with that risk. Again, I get in on the tap. It's a very aggressive, but the way I play my fair value gaps are on the tap. We're going to look at these relative equal lows as far as the bottom of this range goes. 11 a.m., turn of the hour. This is absolutely a good opportunity to go short here. And I will risk new high of day in order for us to target these relative equal lows at the bottom of this range.
Right, I think. Okay, we already did it. Setting towards the bottom of this imbalance is where we look to start moving our stop loss around. And we could be wrong here.
Again, hey. One thing about having a strong bias is that when you're wrong, you're going to continue to be wrong, right? I mean, if you're just on the wrong side of the market, if I continue to find shorts, and that's just beautiful, isn't it? When it does that, isn't that? Yep. Hey, listen, man, bias was right. You just take that. Listen, we called that perfectly. It just went. So nothing has changed here. We're trading on a Friday now. And again, remember, Friday is my favorite day to trade reversals. My favorite day to look for relief rallies. What do we need relief from? Maybe all of this buying that we've been doing since I got wrecked yesterday. So now you come and you take overnight lows first. After a bit of chop, this is pretty bad price action. The downside, I think that we have plenty of time in price action with enough volatility to get there. We look for a sell limit there. We run the play. Let's look at this play outs on the 5 minutes.
So where would we look to be risk off? Well, we'd be risk off again towards these equal lows, relative equal lows, right? So when I see key points of liquidity on the smaller time frames, those are the points that I'm looking to take risk off, meaning moving my stop loss. So it's not gonna be those overnight lows since we already achieved them. So we'll leave risk on. If we get cut here, we'll take it, right? We are getting this move, but it's a lack of continuation. As soon as we get a tap on that green line there, we will be risk off. We're gonna go out for a little bit of slippage, let this ride. And as we get our first close under these lows, we'll look to take some meat off the table there. Okay. Otherwise, we let this play out. Let's see what time we got. Plenty of time, let this thing ride, man. Plenty of time, let this thing ride. Now, it's playing funny. It's playing funny, but it knows where it wants to go. It knows it wants to drop. And this is where you just need to trust the trade, right? And this like, sort of hold, right? I'm just clicking through it. We got in this trade at 10.50. We got in this trade at 10.50. It is 1:15, right? Hypothetically. This is way easier said than done to sit through that price action and be contemplating, like, should I take them? Should I not? Let the chart speak for you. Let the chart be where you place your levels. Let the chart be why you get out of a trade. It should not be because of money, right? Because what ends up happening is you sell yourself short. That only comes with real experience. But with that being said, we will do these relative equal lows are now where our stop loss is. Right? So worst thing that happens here, worst comes to worst, we make 775. Now we're creating imbalance, right? So we'll continue to draw this out as it plays out. Right? You don't want to see this failure, you want to see continuation to the downside here.
Okay, perfect. So we do get stopped out there. You do get that 700 plus whatever trade. I'm happy with that considering the price action on a Friday. I think we came out green for the week. I'm not sure. I think so. All in all, pretty good. All right, so this is going to be the overnight high, right? Which we want to be mindful of. I think coming back below overnight highs is probably another one of those sell stop sort of opportunities on a higher time frame. So see if price does want to deliver lower. If we continue to displace to the upside, we're going to reevaluate our plan. Because you inverse this, then and you take new highs and you just invalidate the idea.
Right. Okay. So what you'd like to see is this imbalance holding on the 5 minute. Right. As far as when we look to take risk off, it wouldn't make sense to take risk off probably until this small time frame swing high. We'll mark that out. Or that didn't work. Okay. That was quick. Yeah, so we'll just go back again now. And I'll move this on. I take further. So move here. We're gonna look for low here. So now we get this close down below. It's kind of our next target here. I'm gonna be looking at low of day. New low of day here. I think it's reasonable to take some off the table at the very least. However, these relative equal lows here will give that trade some room to breathe. We get some higher time frame confidence here. Some reason to believe that we do move lower. Right. You gotta trust the moves and I'll move this up. I believe everything with that. That works. Here's my take. Right. If we get close below these lows, yes, we'll take some more off the table here. So this old swing high here is how we get to it. And then as we continue to move down, we close below these lows. On our way to this one. We just melt it.
Damn. That was a banger. That was a banger. You know what I mean? It's like, can't really ask for nothing more on a Monday at that. Starting on the 15-minute here. Nothing of note for me when we're kind of trading between overnight lows and highs. Also haven't taken a main point of liquidity. I'm not really looking to take much action off of anything. You know, if we're looking anything here, maybe these short-term kind of internal lower high, but even that, it's already 3 p.m. We haven't gotten anything. We're just gonna chalk that one up. We're not, nah, bruv. Well, looks like price did a bunch of nothing, literally. So objectives are still the same. What is this price action? Why did the wheel do this to us? Why did the wheel do this? There's no real discounted entry I can kind of take here. It's mid. It's just mid. Yeah. You don't. It's just nothing here for me, dude. There's nothing here for me. On to the next one. That's just bad. So immediately, I mean, right out the gate, you're shooting. I mean, this is very strong price action. Sell side liquidity here, right? This is going to be interesting to see what the reaction would be here. Most of the day here, probably not much of a setup for me that I'm not interested in. What is going on, boys? So you get the sweep of overnight high right to start, right? This is kind of a perfect sort of indication before I look for that reversal setup, that key reversal setup we've been looking for on Fridays. Looking for a trade back down into this 4-hour imbalance here. Yeah, I think this is fairly reasonable. Okay, we're okay with that on the Friday. Given this did trade 43 points in profit, right? So there is kind of the question, maybe we're leaving some on the table looking for moves that are very big. That could be true. But I'm going to look for something here on the 15-minute. I'm going to be very patient. It's a Monday where our bias is flipped and I don't need to rush into anything. And we're just getting a straight shot. All right, so this is going to be just one of those days. One of those days you just don't get anything. It's all right. Listen. Is a drop into relative discount, but also sweep of liquidity. And what do we have here? Relative equal highs. So now we've achieved that. And we've also created displacement to the upside. The thing is here, it is relatively high risk as far as high premium, right? So you have to size accordingly. But I'd probably be willing to take this, risk these relative equal highs. Close out $600 there. And then you're getting this move down and more than likely a 15-minute close to the downside. Like to see a move down here for a potential liquidity sweep, but you get higher before you even get a chance. This is textbook buy stop entries for me. Sweep of key liquidity for me, that's those overnight lows. We're waiting for that after we fail to continue displacing above previous high of day. For me, that typically signifies that we're looking for liquidity to be created or move higher. Yeah, we can probably risk that 800 here. All right. We'll take the loss there. Take the loss there. That's all right. All right, so this is a very similar setup to what we were looking for yesterday. The difference is I think we are very early in the session and we have an opportunity to ride this play with probably a little bit more liquidity. I do think that is the next objective. Oh, wow. Oh, that was market open. Okay. Well, obviously we need to make sure we're paying attention to the time there, but just moving through that pretty quickly, but it's okay. All in all, that was a good trade that would have been a win too. Now, passing any price action we had from the night before would probably be a good discounted entry here. by way of buy limit. Look at that. Let that thing fly. Let it fly. All-time highs, love it.
You know that.
Soar to my stop loss. All right. There you go. Liquidity here. I'd like to see a move to the downside here for previous low of day and see how we react here. And this is just tough. All right, so now I'm sweeping low of day. All right, so this gives me, and now we've already come to the end of the session. Like, this is just, oh. The problem is we're just shooting up without much of anything else. Shorting off of all-time highs has to be like mental illness. Can't find a reason to do it. All right, guys, listen. This is the end of the session. We went through every single day. I didn't promise I was going to trade every day. It's just not realistic. But we went through and realistically traded every single day within my model. Apparently October 2021 would have been a relatively tough month, particularly when we started getting like those all-time high moves, right? Because within my model, typically I'm just looking for liquidity to get swept. So let's see how we did. It does give me a dashboard. All right, not too bad. Listen, in a month, 20 trading days, we took a total of 11 trades, 63% win rate. We had a Zella score of 81. We made a total of $6,555 with a 3.25 profit factor, 70% day win rate, 1.86 average win trade loss ratio, right? And here is the calendar outlook for the trading session. So those last 2 weeks were kind of a dud, but that's just kind of how trading goes. Sometimes you make most of your money in a few trades and the rest you're just kind of protecting your capital. But yeah, this is kind of where things shifted a little bit and we got some of that straight action. So we'll definitely have to backtest that. We're definitely not challenging all-time highs at least right now. So, but always good to backtest. Here are the stats. All right, guys, listen, this is great practice. Everyone should be backtesting. Let me know if you guys want to see something like this again. I love trying to make videos and try to be creative and have fun, but also get into the technical and teach people something and also learn something at the same time. Appreciate it. If you made it this far through the video, you're a real one. Make sure you hit the like and the subscribe button. I'll definitely be doing this again. Until next time. Thank you.